Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we're looking for Sarah Skunk. It says date of last contact here is 2000, but here, or somewhere else it says, I think it said 1995, so I don't know. Let's see. Sarah Skunk, 43, was one of 11 siblings from Mishki, I don't know how to say that, Mishkigogamang First Nation, Mishkigogamang First Nation, but hadn't lived there since 1960. She was seen for the last time by a friend in Thunder Bay in 1995. There was a Jane Doe in 1994 in Oregon, but let's see. The police are investigating the missing persons file and took DNA samples from Sarah's mother in September 2014 to compare with that body that was discovered on the west coast of the United States in 1996. In 2017, three of her sisters spoke at inquiry hearings in Thunder Bay. One of her sisters told the inquiry that they had to push the police to start searching for her. It took several years for the search to officially begin, which didn't even start till 2001. So make sure that your loved one is reported missing. Make sure they're not reported as a runaway, or somehow they're tied up in paperwork and they never got reported missing. And try to see if you can't get them on the internet in places like Name Us, the Charlie Project, the Doe Network, and then there's another missing persons website as well. I think you can look up missing persons to get on it, but they have them, maybe you can get them on there. So it was around Christmas time in the late 70s when she and Melissa Skunk only met her aunt once. It was around Christmas time in the late 1970s when she and Sarah went for a walk in 7 hours north of Thunder Bay, Ontario. Both girls called the place home, but Sarah hadn't lived there since the early 1960s. That's the first time I met her, and that was the only time I'd ever seen her, said Melissa, who was only about 7 years old. As Melissa recounts her lone memory of her aunt, you can tell it's replayed countless times in her mind. What she remembers most are Sarah's stories of her own daughter and how she insisted that Melissa was just like her. Melissa is now a mother herself. Despite the nearly 4-decade gap between that brief moment and the memory it's become, she says Sarah is impossible to forget. I don't know why that one walk with her made such a big impact on my life, she said. This person really enjoyed holding my hand, walking with me. I think that's what it was for me as a kid growing up. Based on what Melissa has heard from family stories, Sarah did not have an easy childhood. She was the fourth oldest of 11 kids and grew up in a dysfunctional family. After getting in trouble in the community she lived in, she was taken away from the reserve to attend training school in Toronto in the 1960s. I wonder if she's in Canada somewhere. Marianne Skunk, Sarah's sister, remembers that day well. I remember crying because they were taking her away, she said, recalling that last time Sarah ever lived at home. I think it was just the damage that was done to her, the way we were raised. I think that's why she never wanted to come home. The family last saw Sarah when she returned home for a visit in the mid-1980s. The last place she was reported sighting was in Thunder Bay, Ontario in 1995. A friend of the family who had seen her told the Skunks that Sarah was bound for the West Coast. The family, along with 2 investigators from the Anishinaabe, I don't know how to pronounce that stuff, have followed up on leads that have surfaced over the years of mystery, but Sarah has yet to be found. The Skunks say it's been a painful roller coaster ride, one that they'd like officers to be more sensitive of, particularly when it comes to communication about investigative updates, because we always have that hope. Maybe she's out there somewhere, Marianne said. We never really think about death, but we know that could be possible too. There have been 2 incidents where police have taken DNA from Sarah's mother after bodies were discovered in places relative to Sarah's reported route. The last sample was taken in September 2014 to check for a match to a body found on the west coast of the United States. Marianne says her family needs police to follow up with them, even if the match is negative. I did raise it up with the sergeant, she said. I told him, at least tell us if that's her or not. That does a lot to the family. When asked if she would support a federal inquiry, Melissa said yes. She believed there needs to be more attention given to families who don't know where their loved ones are. Anybody that's going through this, you have to understand the inner turmoil that's going on, she said. It affects everything that you do, and it's important that money be put aside to look further into stuff like this. Not only my family, she says, but also the other families that are going through this as well. For the Skunks, like many of the families Melissa speaks about, that inner turmoil is felt across generations. Sarah's mother is 90 years old. She can't walk anymore, and Marianne says she often speaks about her time to go is coming, but still the mother waits, keeping an eye open for her child. A few times I've seen her sitting by the window looking out, and that's what she brings up, Melissa said. Sometimes I actually really believe that's something that's keeping her, that in itself it's really heartbreaking to see. So if you have information about this case or any other case, make sure you reach out to them and help them and let them know, because that is just so sad that here they are missing their loved one that they haven't seen for years, and they don't know what happened to her. So that's very sad. And this says February 15th, 2000 was the last day of contact, and that she was 47 years old at the time, and she was 5'8", and she weighed 130 to 140 pounds. In Seattle, Washington, King County. She was reported missing February 15, 2000, and this says from Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. She was rumored to be heading towards Seattle when she disappeared, so they don't know what happened to her. So if you have any information, contact them, let them know, get a hold of somebody. Don't forget to pray for their loved ones and their family. Please feel free to leave comments, and have a great day. Bye-bye.